We all love a fresh loaf of bread to start our morning, to eat it with our lunch, soup, or to warm our stomach before dinner. Bread is no doubt a necessity 10 to 20 years ago. More and more people are now avoiding gluten or simply just want to stay away from carbs. Eating bread has become a guilty pleasure. As we are learning more about wheat, we turn to different options that are available. We know this as alternative grains. We have relied heavily on wheat through the ages. Wheat has garnered popularity mainly for its taste, leavening ability, and appearance. Alternative grains have been brought to the foreground in recent years. The global value of this market grows so fast that it is now reaching billions of dollars. These grains and seeds can be mixed into many foods as an ingredient or ground into flours. Some of their history can be traced back to thousands of years. These ancient grains were not only used as staple food for centuries, but also associated with lost civilization, culture, and religion. Beside the significance in history, ancient grains also hold substantial value in nutrition. They are considered richer in nutrients than modern grains because they are not bred or modified for higher yields or to be easier processed as modern grains. The market of alternative grains is now exploding. That means a great opportunity for the baking and cereal industry. Spelt is known as the ancestor of wheat. The earliest evidence of existence of the spelt grain is during the 5th millennium BC from the north, east of the Black Sea. Spelt is available in the form of flour or whole form. Spelt can be a substitute in just about any recipe that calls for wheat. Spelt is said to be one of the few grains that some gluten-intolerant people can tolerate, because the gluten in spelt has a different molecular structure than you would find in modern wheat. Spelt is also very high in fiber compared to wheat, which makes it easier to digest. In many countries, rye has been relegated to a food for the poor. The bread made of rye was once called peasant's bread, yet in some cultures, rye holds a very important position. Rye is a good source of fiber and has an exceptionally high water binding capacity and quickly gives a feeling of satiety. Oat has already gained its popularity and reputation as the best choice of breakfast. It is already well known as a source of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Studies have shown that it has multiple benefits such as reducing the level of cholesterol, stabilizing blood sugar and blood pressure, controlling weight, and decreasing the risk of cancer. Part of the grass family, barley grows in over 100 countries and is one of the most popular cereal crops, surpassed only by wheat, corn, and rice. Barley is absolutely versatile. It can be used as a grain or to make malt and beer. Its soluble fiber content even surpasses oat. It is also a good source of minerals and vitamins. If you are suffering from gluten intolerance or celiac disease, you definitely spend your whole life searching for the right food to eat. Here are some perfect choices that can satisfy your dietary need and also supplement all the nutrition. Buckwheat. Don't be fooled by its name. It is technically not a grain. It's a relative to rhubarb rather than wheat. Buckwheat has its high content of protein, dietary fiber, and minerals. Almost half of your daily protein needs in a single cup of buckwheat. It contains enough quantities of all 9 essential amino acids to be called a complete protein. If you are a vegetarian, buckwheat is certainly the best substitute for the essential proteins which would come from meat. Buckwheat is widely used in many cultures. The French use it in their famous buckwheat crepes, and Russians make it into bellini. Like buckwheat, amaranth isn't a grain. This leafy and flowery plant was not only used as staple food of Aztecs, but also in their religious ceremonies, thus earning its name, super grain of the Aztecs. But amaranth can also be grown in a grain form, with seeds about the size of poppy seeds, containing plenty of protein, calcium, and iron. These versatile seeds show up in all kinds of recipes. You can sprout them, pop them, simmer them, or bake them with ground amaranth flour in place of unbleached white flour. Cultivated in the Andes for over 5,000 years, quinoa, a cousin to amaranth, has been called the mother grain and the gold of the Incas. It's technically not a grain, but a seed. Today, the popularity of quinoa is growing steadily as people discover its pleasant nutty taste and superfood qualities. As a complete protein source also high in iron, magnesium, and fiber, quinoa is not only one of our healthiest pantry staples, but also one that's incredibly easy and quick to cook. For most of the grains or seeds we talked about today, we can all cook with different grains and add them into your favorite soup or salad. Use the milled grain flour in your baked goods as substitute for wheat flour, or if you want a little healthy snack, puff the grain. Cover them with molasses, maple syrup, or thin chocolate. What more? You can even sprout your favorite grain for an extra nutritious kick because during the sprouting process, the number of healthy antioxidants and enzymes are increased. Here is a simple way to cook quinoa. You need 1 cup of quinoa, olive oil, 2 cups of liquid such as broth or water, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. First, rinse the quinoa through a strainer for at least 2 minutes under running water. Step 2. Dry and toast the quinoa. Heat and drizzle the olive oil in the saucepan over medium-high heat and add the quinoa. Stirring occasionally, let the water evaporate. Step 3. Add liquid and bring to a boil. Step 4. Lower the heat and cook covered for 15 minutes. Step 5. Turn off the heat and remove the pot from the burner. Let stand for 5 minutes covered. Finally, fluff with a fork and enjoy! The next time you find yourself reaching for a bag of flour, try the alternative. In order to use an alternative grain as a substitute effectively, research is a must. It is necessary to find out how to enhance the grain to achieve an optimal product. Why wouldn't we want to use a grain that is beneficial to our health? They are trendy and seriously healthy. Let's give alternative grains its credit and bring it forward as a priority in our baked goods.